The Body Shop connects you with the hottest fitness models in the world. Learn the backstage secrets that most successful bikini divas, fitness models, and bodybuilders use to dominate their competition and land on the covers of magazines. Only here at the Body Shop will we allow you to listen and talk to the best of the best in fitness competition. If you're passionate about bodybuilding and fitness, you have found your new home. All of us here at FTNS Radio would like to welcome you to the Body Shop. Body Shop. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome your host, Andre Brick St. Clair.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Body Shop. Thank you for allowing the Body Shop and FTNS not just into your homes, but also into your airwaves. Only here on the Body Shop will you learn the backstage secrets that the most successful bikini divas, bodybuilders, athletes from all around the world use to land on the covers of magazines, get into the magazines, even land supplement endorsement deals. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Andre Brick St. Clair. My in-studio co-host is the chairman of the board of FitnessAtlanta.com. He's one of the greatest promoters of all times. Please welcome Mr. Brian Canone.
What's up, Bricks?
How you doing today,
What's up,
B?
man?
Yeah, you like that intro, huh?
That's a little different. It's a little different.
Well, you know, man, you know, that's just what I do, you know what I mean? As the voice of professional bodybuilding and fitness all around the world, that's just what I do, you know?
You know, talking about what our show is.
Yeah.
You know, being it's the Body Shop, and when we decided to start this show, I mean, the one main thing that we really want to talk to was giving the fitness models a voice and a platform of somewhere that they can speak, because a lot of times they're just photographs in magazines.
Absolutely.
You know, we're trying to help them become a little bit more celebrity-like and learn some of these secrets, not just about competing, but as a fitness model, most of it is about like learning how to brand yourself.
It's true.
You know, and a lot of the fitness models kind of, they think if they just enter these shows that somebody's going to kind of take them under their wing and just kind of like things are going to start to happen. Photographers are going to run up and flock to them, and they're going to take these pictures, they're going to be on covers of magazines, and everything's just going to blow up. But the people who are really successful, the ones that we've known, you know, Alicia Marie's, Lindsay Mazzinas, the people that they have within them, they have some worth. They have some hustle.
Oh yeah, they do.
Definitely have some hustle.
Yes. And you know what? It's interesting that you mentioned work ethic. Yeah. It's interesting that you mentioned hustle. Yeah. You know why? Because I know the person that you're bringing on to the Body Shop. See, I know the guest. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? I've seen the guest before. Okay, but I never met the guest. No. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this guest a proper introduction. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Body Shop. This man is originally from Brooklyn, New York. He holds certifications that includes NASM, Apex, Kinesis, TRX, CPR, and defibrillator. This man is always looking for new ways to bring different types of fitness training to the community, and he wants to help you attain your goals for free. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Body Shop, Scott Herman.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Big Scotty? How you doing, man?
Just got home from the gym.
Oh, okay. So being that you just got home from the gym, right? I know what's next for you. First thing you're going to do is
upload this video.
No. That's not what he's going to do. That's going to be the second thing he does. All right. That's going to be the second thing he does.
First thing, he's going to have a shake.
That's right. He's going to open up
waiting for me in my locker.
See, I was about to give away your training secrets. I was going to tell the whole world that's listening to the Body Shop that you were going to open up a canister of Synthesix cookies and cream. Then you was going to take 2 scoops of cell mass. Yeah. Okay. Follow that down with 3 pills of nitrix. Ooh. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Chase that down. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And then 2 hours later.
Actually, a lot of lately is the Amino X.
Oh, you know what?
It's amazing.
I love that product right there. I just ordered 3 bottles of that from my gym. I go to Armstrong Fitness, and I got the watermelon flavor.
Watermelon.
Oh man, it's so good. It is so good.
Obsessed with watermelon. It took the place of her like soda today, which is great because she shouldn't be having that soda.
Yep.
So now she's hooked on Amino X. Actually, it's kind of bad. She can't see me enough of it before she goes through it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing a lot of products being mentioned. Now, right now, we're talking about Amino X. Okay, what Amino X is, it is actually a powdered form of amino acids. And for those of you that are... I'm sorry, Scott?
It's branch-chain amino acids.
Yep, exactly. Branch-chain amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein. All right? So, you know, that's just a little science and a little history.
Now, you take that before or after your workout?
You can actually take it before, during, and after.
Right.
If you choose to.
The branch-chain amino acids, what makes the product so great is they metabolize in the muscle. So that's why it's great to take it while you work out or before especially, because it's going to help out with muscle fatigue, and you're really going to notice a difference in your lifts.
Absolutely. All right.
It's 0 calories. It has no caffeine. You can take it right before bed, you know?
Branch chain are old school, man. I used to take those branch chain like the capsules, you know, before my workout and after my workout, and they'd get stuck in your throat. You
guys can probably assume, you know, being a gym rat and constantly editing videos, I don't get outside that much. The vitamin D in that Amino X is actually really helps me out. I noticed a difference. I think mainly with that when I first started taking it, because if you don't have enough vitamin D, you feel very sluggish. You don't feel as focused.
Right.
So that was awesome.
What is he doing?
Hey, Scott, what are you doing back there, man? Like, are you doing push-ups or something? You know, because I'm hearing like a bunch of like knocking and, you know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know.
He's doing push-ups while he's talking to us. That's what he's doing.
All right, Scott, you know what? Let's jump right into it. First question, when did you first fall in love with fitness?
I fell in love with fitness when I was 12. I was, you know, I was bullied a lot in school, and I kind of needed an outlet. And so I went downstairs, and I found my dad's old school bench, you know, with the cinder block weights.
Yeah.
Short, like, 1/4-inch bar and all that good stuff. And, you know, it just became a place where I could go and shut the rest of the world out and kind of just, you know, just build my confidence.
Right.
Started, man, straight in the basement next to the water heater.
Nice. All right. What was it about lifting those old school weights? And when I say old school, I'm talking about the red and blue plastic weights that were filled with concrete. You know, the old thin bar that was maybe 10 pounds. What was it about when you first started lifting those type of weights and, you know, the feeling that you got that made you want to just continue to pursue this?
Well, I realized that with fitness, I could make it anything I wanted to be. You know, I was competing with myself. I was always into sports growing up. I did baseball, soccer, wrestling. You know, I loved those sports, but with fitness, you know, I could work at my own pace. I could do it whenever I wanted to. I could push myself as hard as I wanted to. And I like the challenge. I'm a very motivated person. I like to challenge myself, and you know, I could keep track of what I was doing, try and get down there the next day and do it again. And it was always available. You know, it was always there waiting for me. You know, where when you do a sport, you got to wait for the team or you're a competitor or something like that. With fitness, it was downstairs 24/7.
I like that. I like that. From initially starting at the age of 12, downstairs in the basement, sneaking your father's weights. You know, most guys at the age of 12, they're watching their father's Playboys. When did you decide that, you know what, my father's weights are no longer adequate enough?
Probably when he was probably when the barbell curls got too easy. That's usually when you're like, I need to go to a gym. I'm doing all these bicep curls.
Well, what happened was one of my buddies on the wrestling team, his name was Ryan. He needed someone to help him out with some work. He was working at a local Gold's Gym. And I was about 14 then, and he's like, "Hey man, I know you really like lifting weights and whatnot." Because you know, my friend, I told him I'd work out in the basement. He said, "If you work with me for 3 hours every Saturday, this gym will give you a free membership. And I said, well, that's pretty sweet. And so that's what I started doing. I remember the first day my father dropped me off. He got me to the gym, and he looked me in the eye and he said, listen, I really like it that you're going to do this. I just want you to promise me that when you grow, as you work out, you won't take any supplements, and you'll never get into things like steroids and stuff like that, because you'll look better and feel better if you train naturally, you know? And looking back, it's kind of funny because my dad's like, don't take protein shakes, don't take creatine. Obviously, you know, you need the protein shakes. Creatine, I've never been a big fan of taking it straight, but obviously it's in a lot of the supplements that are, you know, especially the BSN supplements, there is creatine in them and there is creatine in the body.
Correct.
But, you know, just looking back, I always laugh. My dad's like, no protein shakes. I'm like, Dad, I need the protein shakes.
You know, you know what's funny about that, Scott, is what your father said to you so many years ago is still the same mentality that a lot of first-timers who are stepping into the gym or maybe want to take on this fitness lifestyle, that's what they think. They equate supplements, whether it's a protein, an amino acid, glutamine, creatine,
as a steroid.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah.
Everybody associates supplements with a form of steroids,
right,
or
lead into. It's like, don't smoke pot because you'll end up doing hard stuff.
Well, you know, yeah, you're right, because I've noticed even, you know, people posting on my community page on Facebook, you know, they'll post a photo and they'll say, all natural, no supplements, not even protein. You know, and I'll respond to them. I'll say, listen, you know, all the power to you if you get enough, you know, protein by eating food, but, you know, you shouldn't be proud that you didn't take a protein supplement, because that's just there to help you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with you. You're 100% correct.
Okay.
It must be cool, though, to be a member of a gym at 14, because I didn't start going until I got my driver's license. So I was like 16. But 14 would have been cool.
Yeah, man, I used to ride my bike to work, or ride my bike there to work out, or, you know, my parents would bring me after school. I would hang out there all day. I just loved it. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I had friends and we hung out all the time, but, you know, 3 or 4 times a week I'd be at the gym, and as soon as I got my license, you know, obviously I was working full time. I was there every day, and it just, you know, when you're a kid and you work at a gym, and especially in the summertime, you know, this is actually the number one reason why I would want my kids to work at a gym, is when you're working there, people get to know you. Most of the people who are at the gym during the day, I mean, granted, they could have no job, but most of them are successful business people,
right?
You know, and getting to know the members and them getting familiar with me, they'd want to talk to me. Granted, they would teach me a lot of stuff about lifting, but, you know, I also learned a lot about business as well, and work ethic, and, you know, I liked it when people would, you know, say, hey, you know, you're doing a great job. I would clean all the machines. I would fix them all. Like, you know, a cable machine would break. I would just go get a tool and, you know, fix it.
Right.
Very good mechanically. But, I mean, that was really the reason why I loved the gym so much, not just because of, you know, being able to work out there, but generally the people who are there, I mean, they're motivated.
Okay, two questions for you there, Scott. I want to piggyback off of something that you said, and that is, when you was going to the gym during the daytime, you met a lot of businessmen, and rubbing shoulders with them in the gym, you know, as we like to call it, brothers in iron. You actually learned a little bit from them, because at the age of 18, you became a personal trainer, and then by the time you turned 22, you was the general manager of Answer is Fitness. Now, how did that transition come about?
Well, I mean, as you can imagine, you know, when I started working at the gym, you know, I worked for the owner, and this man, his name is David Dos Santos. He actually owns 14 gyms now, you know, all throughout the East Coast. And, yeah, I worked for him. And, you know, growing up, the men in my family, you know, were do it once or don't do it at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so he would set me on the floor to go clean stuff, and, you know, he'd catch me on the floor, like climbing on top of cable machines just to clean the dust off the top, and laying underneath them and scrubbing them and pulling all the weights off and getting every inch of the machine, because they were white and I wanted them to shine, you know.
Yeah.
And so he liked my work ethic, and so he started giving me like more tasks to do, more stuff to do. You know, he took me under his arm. By the time I was 15, you know, I had built a lot of trust in him. You know, he'd ask me to watch the front desk for him for 10 minutes, you know, and he'd come back like 3 hours later, you know. But I would be up there, 15 years old, making shakes, doing the cash register, counting money, like just doing all this stuff. So I was given a lot of responsibility at a very young age. Mm-hmm. And that gym, actually, we closed that gym down as we were building a new one. The new gym is actually the biggest gym in the area. It's about 65,000 square feet, and it was a Gold's Gym. And so by the time I was 16 and 17, that's when that gym was opening. And, you know, he'd have me there doing security guard at night from 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. And as soon as that gym opened, I was part of the point of sale. You know, he taught me how to lay out the floor, you know, how to basically run a gym. Right. It was the biggest gym in the East Coast at the time. And then by the time I was the maintenance manager. I had like 10 kids working for me. And then as soon as I became 18, I was a personal trainer, but I was also still in charge of the maintenance, doing some front desk work. I was basically his right-hand man.
Wow, yeah.
So by the time I was like 19, he had left to go open up this gym, Answers Fitness, in North Attleboro, Massachusetts, which is about an hour and 15 minutes away. And I had just started college, so I couldn't go down there with him. However, he started building the gym in the summertime, and so I would go down there every single morning. I'd work with him until 3 o'clock, you know, doing some of the demolition and construction and all that stuff. And then I would drive back at 3, and then I would work, you know, from 4 till 9 at my gym, training my clients. And I did that every day during the summer, and I helped him build that place. And then as soon as I finished college, I moved down there, and then he put me in charge of everything, and then I had to be in charge of down there to run the place for him. So I was in charge of the fitness department as well as the point of sale department, the front desk.
And all of this, by the soft age of 22, this man is probably one of the youngest GMs, you know, at the time. He got started.
A big gym. 65,000 square feet is huge.
That's a very big gym.
Yeah.
It's a very big gym.
The Answers Fitness is about half the size, or maybe a little bigger than half the size. But yeah, I mean, also I had at that point in time, I had my financial advisor's license, my real estate license. I had a DJ business for 8 years. That kind of stuff going on.
Are you Jamaican? I mean, you know, you hold on to all these jobs. I'm just kidding over there, young Scotty. All right, look at here. Unfortunately, I do got to cut to commercial, right? But I want you to stay on the line. I want the Body Shop listeners to stay on the line. I want all of your followers to stay on the line, because when we come back with part 2, I want to just transition into how'd you get initially hooked up with the Real World Brooklyn, as well as the endeavor that you're in now. And I'm not going to tell you what it is because I got to cut to commercial. So everybody stay tight. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Body Shop on FTNS.
It's time for a fitness break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back on FTNS.
Happy holidays from the world's first fitness radio.
Happy holidays from the world's first fitness radio.
FTNS.
It's here, the newest weapon in post-workout recovery nutrition. This natural and organic all-in-one formula delivers the ammunition your body needs to advance on your battlefield and beyond. Introducing Amnutrition's Basic Training. Protein, branched-chain amino acids, vitamins, minerals, good fats, and enzymes with no artificial sugars, colors, or flavors. Go to www.amnutritionhealth.com and join the ranks of the supplement revolution. Beyond protein, the body's ammunition, Amnutrition.
Bragg Live Food Products introduces new Bragg Organic Hawaiian Fat-Free Dressing and Marinade, the world's healthiest Hawaiian dressing made with organic tropical fruits, including organic Hawaiian noni fruit. This dressing is perfect on salads, veggies, or used as a flavorful marinade. Look for it in your favorite natural food store. And here's Dr. Patricia Bragg.
You will love my Bragg Organic Hawaiian dressing and marinade.
Oh, yeah, we are in Connecticut.
World's first fitness radio will keep you moving. FTNS.
I'll call you right back. You will be straight on air, okay? You'll go straight on air.
Hi, I'm Amy Hall, host of The Green Gate. What are you hungry for? Do Do you need to rebalance your plate? Join us as we talk about whole, sustainable food, awesome recipes, and all the other things that nourish us. Now is the time to change your relationship with food and get back to the simple, delicious, nutritious basics. The Green Gate, your doorway to great food and healthy living. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, only on FTNS.
Boomers Rock, weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. Join your host, baby boomer Tom Matt, as he shares with you his inspirational recent personal transformation from couch potato to getting his master's degree to bodybuilder to personal trainer. You don't have to be a boomer to get inspired. Tune in weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern on FTNS.co. Get out, keep rocking. Life starts now.
Hey, Scott.
Need FTNS on the go?
Okay,
There's
hold
an
on.
app for
Okay,
that.
we'll go on now.
Download the FTNS app for your iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch now. FTNS, world's first fitness radio, will keep you moving. Welcome back to FTNS, world's first fitness radio. Enjoy the show.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Body Shop. I am your host, Bricks. In the studio with me, I have Mr. Brian Canone.
What's up, Bricks?
How you doing today, B?
What's happening? Everything's going all right.
Everything is always going all right.
Everything's all right.
On the line, I have the entrepreneurial juggernaut, one of the youngest general managers to ever run a gym. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Scott Herman on the line. Big Scotty!
What up?
That's what I'm saying. Man, listen, for the listeners of the Body Shop, for your followers, which we all know are called Hermanites, I apologize. We was having a little technical difficulty. There was a lot of, feedback and echoing. Right now, we got everything perfect. Let's get into this right here, Big Scotty.
We got it under control.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so just a little bit of background for those that are just joining the Body Shop now, although you know what time the show starts, 9 p.m. Eastern. You got your journey into fitness began when you was 12 years old. Okay, you started working at a Gold's Gym, doing maintenance duties. And eventually you earned a free membership by the time you turned 14. Your father told you, train natural, don't even take protein supplements or creatine. By the time you was 18, you became a personal trainer. At 22, you was the GM of Answers Fitness in North Attleboro, Mass.
Is that near John Cena?
Nah, John Cena. See?
He's from Newburyport.
He's
West Newbury.
West Newbury.
Yeah, West Newbury.
Yeah.
I've actually been to the gym. This hole in the wall,
Yeah.
dirty place he used to work out at. I actually liked it. It was like a dungeon. I enjoy that kind of workout
I love gyms like that.
That's like the one you go to right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No offense to Gold's Gym.
That's what I hated. I mean, we just built that new facility, when I told you, but I kind of liked that the one I started working at was kind of dirty and grungy. I was like, yeah, getting crazy in here,
Exactly.
Kind of like the rubber floor mats with the holes in them, it was awesome.
See, that's what I like training in. I don't like the pretty boy gyms. I don't like, when you walking in there and, your sneakers match your tracksuit match your watch, and, the girls got on 30 pounds of makeup and you're there to work out. Okay.
Yeah, I hear you, man. There's a gym that my girlfriend likes to go to up here in Peabody. It's massive gym. It's even bigger than the 65,000 square foot one, but everybody looks too pretty in there for me.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. All right. So, Scott, talk to me about.
Well, you were doing this position. You were running these gyms, and then you mentioned that you were then you gave up that job running these gyms to go to college. Is that what happened?
No, what happened was when my friend Dave, who was the owner, when he left the gym that I was working at, it was called Gold's Gym. They later changed the name to Latitude. When he left Latitude to go build Answers Fitness, I had to stay where I was because I went to a local college, went to Marinade College in North Andover, Massachusetts. It's a business school. And so I helped him build the gym in the summertime, but he told me, he's like, hey, I want you to stay up here and finish school. And then as soon as you get your bachelor's degree, you can come down here, you know, and then just work for me down here. But I mean, obviously during those 4 years, well, it was more like 2 years because he didn't start building it until 2 years in. You know, he still lived in the area, and I would go down there and help out and, you know, do things for him that he would need me to do. But once I finished and got my bachelor's, then I went down to run the facility.
Okay. How then did that lead to you having a stint on The Real World?
Well, what happened was I had a client that I trained for about 3 years. Her name is Holly, and she was a businesswoman, and I was, you know, we would work out probably 3-4 times a week when she got out of work around like 5 or 6, and we became friends. And she kept saying to me, she goes, you know, you have a lot more going for you than just being a gym trainer. You have a personality, you have a good look to you. You know, I just started doing some modeling in Boston, and she's like, you know, you should try and get out there. She goes, I think you should try going on The Real World. And I said, hell no, I hate that show. All those people are just like dirty things, and I just don't want to have anything to do with them. You know, and I tell a story. I remember it like it was yesterday when my brother and I don't know the exact year unless I looked it up online, but I had just bought the Californication CD by Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I put it on my radio, and one of the challenges was on, and I said to my brother, I'm like, you will never see me on one of these stupid shows ever, you know. But anyways, so for about a year, Holly kept about 6 months. She kept pestering me to make an audition tape, and just to kind of shut her up, I made one, you know. But me being the entrepreneur overachiever, I actually made a very good one, and I did most of it in the gym. And about 5 months before, 4 or 5 months beforehand, before I made the video, I had won the best abs on East Coast for Men's Health magazine. I went to this modeling audition thing they had in New York. Okay. And so I kind of based my video on utilizing that as part of like the fun. So I had the shirt that says, "Do you have iron abs?" that I got at the contest. And so my whole video, I had the shirt on, and I was talking about my friends and my family and my jobs and what I've done, what I've accomplished. Then at the very end of the video, I stood up and I was like, oh, in case you're wondering, I do have iron abs. And I pulled up my shirt. I'm like, look for me in Men's Health next month. And it was like the fun end to the video.
I like that.
And I was working down in North Attleboro for almost a year, and then I got an email from MTV, and they're like, hey, we want to go to round 2. And by that point in time, I had completely forgotten I'd even sent in an audition tape because it had been so long. But about 4 or 5 months before that happened, I had started Scott Herman Fitness, and I was trying to figure out a way to bring that to the masses. And it was kind of just like, you know, coincidence that they had sent me this email to go on the show. So I was like, oh, well, maybe I can try and utilize this opportunity to preach about my business, my website.
Right.
So things happen for a reason, the way they're supposed to happen, you know?
Right. Okay.
What was it like being on the show and packing up and going? Was that it? Was like the show you see on TV what you really lived?
Yeah, well, my season was a lot different. They called our season a throwback season. I mean, no one in the house was getting drunk every night. No one in the house was having sex with each other. We weren't bringing a bunch of, like, people home. We had brought home friends that we had made, but our season was more or less, you know, us getting to know each other. We didn't have a job. We had the first season with 8 people. We had the first transgender, you know, castmate on the show. And so they kind of did a story basically around her and then around my roommate Ryan, who was actually called back into active duty in Iraq about halfway through the season. So it was a pretty intense, emotional season. Some people say it was boring. I just said, you know, that it was awesome. It was.
Yeah, you're one of the lucky ones.
We actually had the highest rated premiere episode than they ever had, because they really pushed it like super hardcore. Okay. It was good. It was a good season, and I was basically the workout guy throughout the whole thing until towards the end when my transgender roommate was going to have to leave because she didn't have any money left for, you know, personal reasons she was dealing with at home, and I wrote her a check for like $1,500 to stay on the show to pay her bills. And then I did something really nice for my roommate Ryan before he went back into Iraq. I got like a a diary, and I had everybody write in a really special passage, and then we sat him down, we gave it to him. I mean, it was a really good season.
Wow. Scott, do you actually get paid for being on that show, or is it more so of like
the opportunity?
Yeah, the opportunity, or
like being in a magazine or something like that.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, you get paid. I mean, you get paid about $500 a week. You leave with almost $8,000 by the time the show's over. But they basically say, "Well, we'll put you on TV and you do the rest yourself." You know, I mean, even the Jersey Shore kids, they probably only got paid like. Actually, I don't think they made anything the first season, and then when it hit, and then they were like, "Oh, you're paying us big bucks now." You know what I mean?
Right.
But most reality shows, you don't get paid that much because I mean it's not like you're a big time celebrity. You're just there for one season and you're gone. Right. You make the real money, you start doing the challenges. But I refuse to do those.
Got you. Speaking of those challenges, okay, you have a fellow Real World alumni who actually listens to the Body Shop once in a while. I'm talking about Mike McZannon. A lot of people know him as The Miz, WWE.
Oh, yeah. He's done a really great job with branding himself. I'm proud of him. I never met him, but he's everywhere. He's got his own figurines in Toys R Us.
Yeah. It's so crazy. So when you see the success that he has, as far as the brand marketing along with the WWE bandwagon, and you are looking at the success that you have, even though you're not on TV to the degree that The Miz is on, do you feel good about eventually doing or having done the Real World?
Oh no, I'm very proud of my time on the Real World. I know it helped me out a lot. If anything, being on the show, I mean, for me, I was watching everything that was going on. I was watching the camera people, how they did their job. I was paying attention to the marketing. That's how I learned about social media. I had no idea you could even run a business on Facebook and YouTube up until I did the show.
Right.
It got me in the door to meet a lot of other, celebrities or people in the entertainment business who, kind of gave me an idea of what I should do, how I should do it, what works, what doesn't work,
Right.
So the opportunity for me was I utilized it for what it was. I wanted to become a successful business owner, and I wanted exposure. Whereas now, if you turn the TV on and you watch the Real World, it's just drunk and sex and all kinds of dirty, disgusting things going on.
Well, didn't season 1 also have a guy who was in the exercise niche? He had a workout tape too. He was like a model, like a regular model.
Yeah. Well, he actually went very far. I forget his name, but he did do that. But it's different, when you're the show back then. Granted, Cops was the first reality show, but I mean MTV Real World was the second and probably more popular because of what it was. It was people in a house, fighting with each other, doing this, that, and the other thing. But I was season 21. I mean, it's cool, but it's like, okay, we've already seen this, we've already done that, so you don't really get a lot of attention from the rest of the media. I mean, you're on the Real World, cool. So was these 8 kids 6 months ago, and 6 months ago was these 8 kids, and so 6 months ago was these 8 kids. So it didn't have that hype to it,
Correct.
Now you've really taken the social media to the next level, though. I mean, I'm just looking at your fan page. 97,081 fans on here, and I see your advertisement show up on my website for your YouTube page that come up on Fitness Atlantic. Yeah, so do you have a strategy for what you're doing? Because I think you also have a team behind you too, right? Don't you? It's really helping you with some of your social media that you're doing here.
I mean, I pretty much do it all on my own. I have a team that works for me. My company helps me with editing the videos. I have people help me on the page to regulate the page to make sure nobody's going on there and saying disgusting things or insulting people. But I didn't really dive into social media until like 6 or 7 months until after I got off the show. And when I got off the show, I moved to New York. I tried to pursue more modeling and acting stuff, mostly modeling. I was doing my appearances, so that was making enough money doing that to kind of pay my bills. But I quickly learned in that time that nobody cared that I was on the Real World. Like, they just didn't care.
Right.
When by the time Twitter came out, the next season, the Cancun season, had already aired, and so I started my Twitter account kind of late, started my Facebook page kind of late. I missed the hype from my show being on the air, and I only had like 700 fans on my Facebook page. Okay. And so I kind of had to start bare bones. And so what I did was, like, I went back and I Google searched my name, and I went back about 30 to 40 pages on Google, finding all the websites that were posting my photos and writing things up about me. And I reached out to them. I said, "Hey, I'm gonna teach fitness on YouTube. Here's my first video link. Here's my second video link." And the people that wrote back to me, I saved their email addresses, and every time I made a video, I would send it out to them. And then what I would do is go back to all my videos. I started out with 0 subscribers on YouTube, obviously, and so I would go back to every single video. I'd spend like 12, 13, 14 hours a day just commenting to people on YouTube and on my Facebook page to make sure every single person got answered. Wow. And through doing that, I built a community, but I mean, wasn't making any money. I only had 200 subscribers. Maybe I made a penny a day. Okay. You paid per click. If you have 200 subscribers, you ain't getting that many clicks,
Right.
So it was, the secret to the success was wanting and being able to put the work in. And if I wasn't doing my appearances, making $1,500 to $2,000 a week, doing those things to pay my bills, I wouldn't have been able to put all that time into my business from, basically Monday through Friday.
It's really
And so what's happened from doing that is people started to realize that I actually cared about them. I wanted to answer their questions. I wanted to help them. I wanted to listen to them.
Right.
And so more and more people started coming to the Facebook page to ask questions. And then what started to happen is, over time, people who were fans and on the page would see all the responses that I was giving, and they wanted to help people too. And so if they had known the answer, because they'd seen me answer, they'd say the same question a million times, like, "Oh, what's protein for?" And I'm like, "Well, you need it because as you work out, you're breaking down muscle tissue. You have to rebuild muscle tissue. If you don't get enough protein from your meals, you have to get it from an external source. That's why you supplement." Correct. And so, people, they generally want to help each other. So some Hermanites, very early on, started answering questions for me, And so once they started answering questions, I realized that, hey, this isn't a fan page, this is a community page, and these people are here because they'd like to be a part of something. Like, in this day and age, what I learned most from reality TV is people want to have a voice. They want to be heard. Correct. Which is fortunately the reason why so many reality shows, people being like absolutely just not normal, because they want the attention, but it's bad attention. However, when you give people an outlet to express themselves and talk and have their voice heard, they want to come back and they want to help and they want to keep talking.
Absolutely.
And that's what's happening. And that's why now, my page has 97,000 Hermanites, and the new feature that Facebook added was the talking about this. Did you guys, know what I'm talking about?
You said on Facebook?
A new feature on Facebook?
Yeah, right underneath where it tells you how many fans are on your page. It says talking about this underneath.
Oh, right. 3,749 talking about your page.
Yeah, and that's the amount of people who are active on the page. Okay. Speaking of WWE, I was doing this this online contest called Nationals Awards, and John Cena's fans were voting on there, so I checked out his page, and John Cena has 9 million fans.
Right.
But talking about this was only 133,000. And if you do the math, it came out to 0.001% of his fan base was talking about his page. Does that make sense?
Right.
So basically, so you're the new champ. So you took out Cena, which I like, because I'm about to make a wrestling reference right here, right now. but Scott, you know what I want to know? I want to know, how did you eventually get noticed and then get signed to become a sponsored athlete from one of the largest supplement companies out there right now, and that's BSN? But hold on, Scott. Hold on, Scott, because I need you to answer that after this commercial break. You know what I mean? And until you get the video, you can't see me, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. You're listening to The Body Shop on FTSN. Yeah, I was poking fun at Lou right there. We'll be right back.
It's time for a fitness break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back on FTNS.
Happy holidays from the world's first fitness radio.
Happy holidays from the world's first fitness radio.
FTNS.
It's here, the newest weapon in post-workout recovery nutrition. This natural and organic all-in-one formula delivers the ammunition your body needs to advance on your battlefield and beyond. Introducing Nutrition's Basic Training. Protein, branched-chain amino acids, vitamins, minerals, good fats, and enzymes with no artificial sugars, colors, or flavors. Go to www.amnutritionhealth.com and join the ranks of the supplement revolution. Beyond protein, the body's ammunition. Nutrition.
The fitness industry is beginning a transformation unlike ever before. It is more important than ever to be innovative and creative in order to connect with your customers. FTNS, world's first fitness radio, is here to help you do it. FTNS advertising packages are designed for high-impact, high-frequency reinforcement of your message. Over 70 million people in the U.S. listen to internet radio each month. FTNS targets fitness-minded people that you want to reach but have never been able to effectively target before. Radio advertising is like word of mouth because it comes from a friend, the listener station. Internet radio is brand building. Positioning your brand through a concept or an attitude is easy to achieve personally, frequently, and economically on radio. Let's partner together to get your message delivered to the hearts and minds of the FTNS listeners. For more information, please email marketing@ftns.co.
FTNS, where fitness comes to life.
The Hardcore Show, turning chumps to champs and Joes to pros. It's time for you to take your training to the next level when just being big is not enough.
This is Hardcore.
Host Lou Santella will be talking with today's elite and extreme athletes to discover their keys to success. You'll learn valuable tips on strength, power, and endurance.
This is Hardcore.
The Hardcore Show is for those of all fitness levels, from the extreme athlete to the person just starting out on their path to reach their fitness goals. Listen to The Hardcore Show, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on
FTSN Network. FTSN Network.
Seriously, Lou, if you don't learn how to pronounce FTNS, I'll be calling you Ulo.
I said it right. Give me something.
Need FTNS on the go? There's an app for that. Download the FTNS app for your iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch now. FTNS, world's first fitness radio, will keep you moving. Welcome back to FTNS, world's first fitness radio. Enjoy the show.
Yes, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to The Body Shop. I am your host, Bricks. In the studio, I have Mr. Brian Canone.
Bricks, I'm watching this Scott Herman video right now.
You talking about
I'm looking
the
at
one with the Captain America shield?
That's what I was just going to say.
Okay.
I can't believe he really has one. I thought
No. You get it right. I have a Captain America shield signed by Stan Lee.
Are you serious?
Nice.
Okay. So basically, Brian, what he said was kiss his butt. That's what I heard.
Oh, that's the real thing.
Go to my personal vlogging channel, and then I have video of me in my Captain America costume putting my shield in front of Stan Lee at Comic-Con and signing it.
Okay, when you say Comic-Con, was that the one that just came, or was this the year prior?
No, it was the one before this one in New York. I got hired by IGN to be their Captain America for the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 release party.
Wow.
Actually, are you guys gamers at all?
I'm not really a gamer, but what happened is I used to work for a company called Reed Exhibitions, and they're the ones that sell the booth space. So when they had Comic-Con at the Jacob Javits Center, you know, they invited me out there. So that's pretty much how I know about, you know, these things.
Well, side note, to go too off track, but this was pretty funny. And so, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you're allowed to pick 3 characters. So I picked Captain America, Dante, and then some other chick. I didn't really care. And so people were like laughing because they're like, "Oh, Captain America is playing as Captain America," you know. And I just beat this kid so bad using my one character, and everyone was just kind of like, "Oh, crap, this kid knows how to play video games." Like, next, line it up.
Nice.
I was like, yeah, I am Captain America, and I will beat you.
I like that. I like that. So you got asked to Comic-Con to put on the costume. You got Stan Lee signing the shield. How did you...
How do you get all these things?
No. I don't want to know that just yet. I want to know how he became a sponsored athlete for BSN.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is very, very hard to do.
You love BSN.
I do. I probably promote them more than the athletes that they sign. So how did you become a sponsored athlete for that, Scott?
Well, what had happened was, you know, I was doing my YouTube channel. I had about probably like 12,000 subscribers at this time when I contacted them. Do you know the girl at BSN? Have you seen her, Tiana Ta?
Yeah,
we know her. Yeah.
So one of her friends went to my gym, and I was actually training him, and I was like, hey, you know, when the gym closes, I film videos or whatever. And he's like, oh, that's cool. He goes, one of my friends is a girl at BSN. Maybe I can put you in contact with her. I mean, you can contact them for a sponsorship. And so I got a hold of this guy, Brandon, who was the head of the marketing department. And I sent him my stuff, and I was like, hey, man, you know, I teach fitness online. I was on TV before, I'm a TV personality, and I have 12,000 subscribers, and this is what I do. And he had written back to me, and he's like, you know, I like what you're doing. I just don't know what to do with it yet. And to be honest with you, even now, a lot of big companies, they do not understand or get social media. They don't understand what the views and the hits actually means. And so he's like, listen, I like what you're doing. I want to start sending you some free product, you know, because I have been using the NO Explode. Actually, my roommate, JD, on the Real World Brooklyn, is the one who got me into the NO Explode. Because he was like, dude, you got to try this stuff. And that's kind of where my road to BSN started. And so, you know, I kept in contact with him, and, you know, like a month later, I had 1,500 subscribers. A month later than that, I had like 18,000. And then 3 months later, you know, I had 24,000 subscribers. And I said, you know, what do you want to do? And he's like, well, we're going to sign you. We're going to sign you as our athlete, and you can be our social media guy. And it basically took him that long, and he said to me, he's like, you know, I want you to just trust me that I'm going to take care of you. I just have to figure out a way to pitch you to the company, because all the athletes they sign, you know, they're doing, you know, either shows or they're professional athletes, and I don't do shows, and I'm not a professional athlete. What I have is, you know, new. No one's really seen it before. No one's really doing it. And so, you know, they signed me as an athlete, and then here I am almost, you know, a year and a half, 2 years later, 152,000 subscribers on my site. One of the, you know, my page gets the most hits on their website by far, and they love it. I was actually just down there last week at their offices in Boca Raton. We filmed a video series called Extreme Athlete Training, and it's a workout series that'll be on their site with me demonstrating all the workouts, which is pretty cool. But we had Athlete Day on last Thursday. And it was basically me there for 4 hours in their, you know, customer service department, and I could have my Hermanites call and talk with me. And basically the whole 4 hours, they couldn't even put people on hold because I had the lines full 4 hours straight, and they could not believe it. Like, they were like, how is this even happening? You know, they have Jane Allen there all the time doing it, and she has a large social media base too, but they couldn't believe that the phone lines were that full. I had people calling in from Morocco, Canada, United States, India, Indonesia, Italy, all over the world. And that's, I think, what they finally, started to see, like, oh, this is what social media is. This is the power of being able to reach out, I get fans buying BSN products all over in many different countries,
Right.
Do you find that with your social media experience and where it's taking you now, do you think that you owe much of your success to social media or to fitness?
Well, it's going to be a combination of both because, without the background in fitness, I would have nothing to teach on social media.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's kind of true.
Well, what's interesting is even like, it's funny because you would think that these guys at BSN, the people that they're typically signing who are just like a pro fitness competitor or pro bodybuilder, or, that it's so interesting because like what you're doing is what we try to teach fitness models to do. On our show.
You guys were talking before I came on the line, and you said, fitness models think they just flash their abs, and now all of a sudden they're signed by Calvin Klein. And it does not work like that.
No.
You know what I mean?
These people.
But you're right. You're 100% right.
A lot of these people have no. They don't make any money at what they're doing, and they have no idea on what they should actually be doing. It's just, to them, it's just contest after contest, and if for most to the point, there's only a couple people that win any kind of prize money at it. So what else do they do is they go after endorsement contracts. But at the same time, it's like, it's hard to justify really. Like, I would look at it and say, like, someone like you has a lot more to offer than somebody who's just a pretty face or something that doesn't have a following. Like you said, if you could have the phone lines filled for 4 hours nonstop, and these people compete and really don't have anybody that buys tickets to even come watch them compete, it's a shame. They really need to listen and take some of the advice of what you're doing and build up their own popularity and their own celebrity, because then they will actually become something. A lot of people, they always depend. It used to be an industry that depended upon the fitness magazines. Everybody wanted to be in them, and now everybody's online. And this is where they need to be, and they could put themselves. A lot of the things you were saying too, just about how you did it. I read all the Gary Vaynerchuk stuff, and I don't know if you read it, like his book Crush It, and seen some of his stuff. But it's all about social media. He was a wine guy, and just did the same thing. He just sat in his store and just made wine tasting videos over and over again, and just like blew up on Twitter and everything. It's just like, and you're doing the same thing, just interacting.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, you waste all this time trying to get a cover of a magazine, right? And it takes you months and months and months and months, and you finally get it, it finally comes out, and then it's gone. Like, what has it done for you? Granted, it's in your back pocket, but you could have spent all that time trying to do something else. I mean, granted, I've had spreads in different magazines, and I haven't gotten the cover of a fitness magazine yet. My main goal is always to have the cover of Men's Health, because that's the hardest one to get. But all the magazine stuff, and like the 6-page spreads, and like Exercise for Men Only, and all these interviews and all this stuff, that came because they looked at my Facebook and they looked at my YouTube, and they said, "Holy crap, this kid has 250,000 people in his social media." It's like they need me more than I need them at this point. And so then all of a sudden the offers kind of line up at the door, and you pick and choose the ones you want to do. I was at the NPC National Championships in Ohio about 6 months ago, and I was running the BSN booth there. And you're right. I had people coming up to me. They have that new category, the men's physique. And the guys are coming up to me, they're like, "Hey, man, how come you're not competing in men's physique? It'd be a great category for you." I said, "Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, you guys are kind of doing that to be where I am now. Like, I don't want to do that."
Totally agree with you.
Absolutely. I'd rather keep doing what I'm doing and helping people online than just focusing on winning a contest.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Like, that's one of the things that we preach is, compete, fine, but then capitalize on it. Learn when and how to give back, as well as how to market yourself, how to get your name out there, how to make your name now a brand. Like, for instance, the Scott Herman name, okay? It is officially being recognized as, one of the most supportive online community. And even though we joke about it, you know, Hermanites and so on and so forth, but you really have people that really are interested in what it is you have to say, because you take the time to answer back questions. You don't let the ego or the fact that, you know what, I got a six-pack and you don't let that interfere with the fact that, you know what, I'm willing to help you if you ask.
Yeah, and that's how it has to be. And you know, that mentality, that's the whole reason why I started Scott Herman Fitness to begin with, was kind of taking a couple steps back. When I was the general manager of Answers Fitness, you know, my degree's in business. The goal is to make money in the gym, obviously. Like, that's why you have a business. And so people would come into the gym, and I would do point of sale as well, and I would sell the personal training. And when I was noticing, you know, people would come in who couldn't afford a trainer, you know, and they would come in, they'd work out for a couple months, and then they'd never come back because they did not know how to use the equipment. And I saw this as a problem, mainly because, you know, I would see members that were there, you know, even longer, like 7-8 months, I had built relationships with, and they would leave because nothing changed. And not everyone unfortunately can afford a trainer. And many people think that a trainer comes with their membership. But as you and I both know, you know, trainers could be $60 an hour. Right. And so what I had decided to do was stay there late at night. And this is how I met my right-hand man, this guy, his name is Cliff. He was doing an ab machine, like, totally backwards. And I went up to him, and I just kind of was like, what the hell are you doing? You know, that's kind of how we met.
Yeah, sounds like me in the gym. Yep.
Yeah, what the heck are you doing? And he's like, can you help me? And then I started training him, and I started training him and his partner, Tom, and I had an idea one day, and I said, you know, his name is Cliff. I said, you know, Cliff, you know, what if we stayed here after the gym closes? And I had been modeling Men's Health at the time. And I said, what if we take what Men's Health does and we make our own website for the gym and do starting and ending photos for all the equipment in the facility? Wow. He's like, that's a great idea. And so the site started without even having any videos. It was just starting and ending photos with descriptions of how to use all the machines in the gym. And so what I would do is when people would sign up, and then listen, if you can't afford a trainer, you can go to my website, and I have all the equipment in the gym listed, and you can learn how to use it and come in here and feel more comfortable.
Right. All right, Scott, hold on one second, because unfortunately, we're starting to run out of time. Actually, we are out of time. I have exactly 63 seconds. And within those 63 seconds, I would like to know if there's anybody out there that you would like to thank. And can I get you back for part 2 of this interview, because you just have a wealth of information that we need to get out there to the people.
Yeah, part 2 for sure. And I would like to thank everyone in my life who's been super supportive of me. You know, obviously first starting with my family and my friends being very supportive. I wouldn't be here without, you know, the guy Dave who took me under his wing. Parents constantly push me to do well in school. And I have an amazing girlfriend now who takes care of me and is really good at making sure I stay on track. And obviously the biggest people I need to thank are the Hermanites. The Hermanites keep me motivated. When they post their photos, the before and after photos, and they say, "Scott, you've helped me lose 80 pounds and I live in Italy and I don't know you, but I lost weight doing your videos," that makes me want to stay up late at night to make sure those questions get answered. So, guys, definitely thank the Hermanites.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'd like to thank you, Scott, for taking time out of your busy, hectic schedule. I'd like to thank you for taking time away from your Hermanites, as well as BSN. And, you know, just see, I know I get a chuckle out of him with that one. You know, seriously though, thank you for calling into the body shop, you know.
So the information that you gave is really what our listeners need to hear.
Absolutely.
You know, how to get out there.
Well, I appreciate you guys reaching out to me. I'm honored to be on the Body Shop. You guys are great.
Yes, sir.
You have awesome radio personalities, guys.
Thank
you get
you very
me motivated and hyped up. I like it.
And we're definitely going to have you back for part 2. You know, this is not something that we're just saying for the air. You know what I mean? Like, we're definitely going to have you back on. Is there any quote or motivational saying that you would like your Hermanites to hear?
I know they want to hear it. If this interview is over, I got to say, hope you guys enjoyed this interview. And as always, more good stuff coming soon.
I like that. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, always remember this. Success breeds envy. The best revenge you can have against a jealous person is to become even more successful. Keep God first and everything else will fall into place. Hey, this is Bricks. I'm signing off for Brian, super producer Herman, and Scott Herman. Ladies and gentlemen, we gotta go. I'll see you when I see you.